Ah, hi. So I have another video and I'm going to read what my note was when I got the idea about the topic. Um, okay. Before I started this video and I got so hung up on my own handwriting that I couldn't continue. So here I am. Let me do a little bit of maintenance here. Okay. You may be annoyed at something you experience and the people you are witnessing doing it. They may be in your group or totally unaware. Unaware as in parentheses. Um, Parentheses? No, quotes. But you'll see it contributing to the collective if you listen hard enough. Um, yeah, that's pretty true. At first, when I saw that topic, I was thinking, oh, maybe I should just skip this one because it's too like vague. But I have a scarf on because that's where I get sick. Um, yeah. So basically, this is a little bit of insight as to the operations within a soul group. Um, I'll go to the part. There's a couple parts that I could go to. Um, Maybe I'll go to both. The first one that comes to mind is when there are like romantic feelings involved, and you'll see first everyone in your soul group at some time or another will seem like they are unaware of each other. And then as time goes on and as you become more mature, spiritually mature, you'll start to see who knows what. And then you'll see who knows who. And then you'll find out a lot of the times that everybody knows everybody. And it'll be very, very profound. And you might not see this translate into life. You may see it translate within experiences and timing and synchronicities and things like that. So let's get back to the annoying part, because this is about the annoyances, because I could go to the good parts all day. But when I wrote this note, I think I was having a moment where I was learning about how good the annoying things or how beneficial the annoying things could be for the collective. So when it comes to the more romantic part of the relationships, the things that someone else is doing, let's say you have two people within a soul group, but you have something, and then maybe it's a soulmate, maybe it's just a connection. I'll get into that in another video. That video is going to be called Traveling Through Soulmates to Your Twin Flame. I think maybe other people have maybe categorized these things as false twins, and that's another good term that could be applied to what's happening or what that's about. So, but let's go back to when you're having a kind of romantic encounter or relationship. And it's not necessarily just, relationship cool and then there's like a sexual part. It's more like it really is like a relationship. There's feelings and caring and growing together. But sometimes that person can do something. My mom's dog is dreaming right now. His name is Dakota. And he's having a very vivid dream, I guess. Yeah. So when the person does something that maybe makes you jealous, jealousy is one of my biggest problems, or biggest teachers. Either way you want to look at it, they're both accurate. When I get jealous, it can trigger me to think in more, trying to think of the right word. It can make me more insecure. It can make me more distrustful. The things that the person that are doing that make me feel jealous could really be things that are legitimate sources of legitimate jealousy. But let's go to how that helps the collective. So the person who's experiencing the jealousy, it could help you learn about yourself, which makes you feel good in a way that triggers you to do some really good work that you see getting translated into something that is therefore harmonizing with someone else. That's a little bit vague, even though it's pretty accurate. Let's get more specific. Let's say your jealousy makes you think in a new way, where you start understanding the tendencies of another person within the soul group, or they could be a part of this other person's soul group, and you guys are meshing edges. I'm not so sure how that works yet, but I had an experience where that happened to me. There was a person, maybe she is a part of my soul group, but I know that we have an awareness of each other. And there were things that a guy that I was interested in before, like in the past, and he was doing things with her in a way that I felt like this isn't right for how you promised me that you were. And then through a few different occurrences and through a few discussions that we had, chats on Facebook, other chats, things like that, I discovered that he was lying. And that discovery, after a couple of mishaps, made me realize her involvement, which made me ultimately not want to be concerned with him or be involved with him anymore at all. And I use this as an example. I've used it in at least one other of my videos because it's such a great example, and it's probably going to get brought up again in my next video, traveling through a soul group or traveling towards your twin flame, because it's looking like that's what happened. It looks like this person and their seemingly, I don't know, seemingly destructive infidelities, I don't know, but something like that led me to not wanting to be around. And then that incident is what opened the door to me being receptive to the next person, who immediately stepped in as soon as my decision was concretely made. And I'll break that part into two parts. During the time that these things were happening, it made me learn a lot, even about things in my own life and the way that people have been, or the way that they can be, and they haven't been that way yet, but now I'm prepared to kind of see it more. So it made me learn a lot when it was happening, but then it made me get led. It gave me the opportunity to have an open door for the person I'm best designed for, and the person who's best designed for me. And that brought along pretty much the opposite of what I was experiencing with almost any other person I could think of that I've ever dated in my life. Even my the person I married, I mean, he's not even in the running, to tell you the truth, in comparison to other people that I've had more trust with. You know, that's a funny thing to even consider, but it's true. But especially now, I don't feel the kind of jealousy that I ever felt before. I still have triggers of it, but, or not triggers, but signs, like remnants of it. But it's nothing like anything else. It's more like right now I'm going through like a purging process of getting all these old theories of bigotry, stereotyping, hatred, jealousy, judging, little things from outside influences, theories that I've had in my life holding on, maybe that stem from other kinds of pain. Now I'm having that kind of like delivery from those things. And I still get jealous, but now when I get jealous, it almost seems like a memory. So that's the romantic side. The not so romantic side, and actually the 0% romantic side, and the side that's more like pertaining to people that aren't aware at all, not in your soul group, not aware, nothing. I'll give the example of my divorce. I lost everything. There's a long story, legal stuff, nonsense, lies. You know, I'm getting dragged through the mud, but it's all been really good because it triggered so many other things that have been so beneficial. Even that same union with the person I just described, I mean, I can't imagine it any other way, because I can't imagine it happening if these things didn't happen. And this push that happened was from an outside force, someone who was really, you know, wanting to interfere. I'm not going to get into that part because I just don't want, it doesn't even like hold any kind of educational merit at all. It does within the processes that I have to deal with and the things I've been learning about people, but that's not really what this video is about at all. So, but it's been beneficial. But those things are what caused a lot of shifts with a lot of people within the soul group. And I imagine that the same things happen with other people within the soul group. I think about that when I have problems kind of understanding how someone could understand so much about me or know so much about me, or be in such perfect harmony. I'm thinking something must have happened, because I try to look at the things that happen even in a smaller scale than something as huge as, you know, the start of a nasty divorce, which I never saw coming. I wanted the divorce, but I never saw it turning just nasty, you know. But something on a much like more mellow and less dramatic scale is like something that might be on TV or something you're listening to, or the kind of work that you're doing, and then you see something else happen, and it's just, and then it just like you have a thought like, oh wow, this is why, you know. And I've brought this up before, but I'm hoping that bringing it up this way helps to illustrate the depth and the seemingly complicated nature of the things that I'm speaking about. Because when you're experiencing them, the most complicated, I'm sorry for the squeaky chair, it's wooden and antique. So an antique wooden chair is not gonna be quiet. See, he's like, no, I'm not gonna be quiet. But just playing. The chair doesn't have, never mind. my sense of humor. But oh, where was I? But the thing is, these things seem complicated, but when you're having the experience, it can seem complicated, but the most complicated part is sometimes working through your own self-doubt. And there aren't a lot of people you can speak with about things, because if they don't get it, they're gonna be calling people like, come get this person. And it's not because you're like going haywire, it's because they have no idea what you're talking about. So when you're going through them, it can feel really isolating. But the things that add up over time, over and over again, they kind of add to the collective, which becomes monumental. And then you have the security you need until something extremely profound comes along. Like, my biggest profound experience now has been the union that I'm in. I just can't even believe it at all. The feeling that I get from him, the things I understand about him, how much of a fan I am of his work, but then I'm equally, if not even more so, a fan of who he is inside. And I won't even get into the aesthetics. Like, I'm just gonna keep that private, you know? But he's just really good looking too. Like, I'll just go to the edge of like how I feel about that. It's shocking. So, you know, that's very profound, and sometimes I have doubts that come up, like, but then I have to listen to what's happening because it's undeniable. And then that's when things are like, wow. And then you learn even more, and it just multiplies. So I went back to the good part. I tried to stay with the annoying part. I hope that I covered things in a comprehensive way. Had to check on Dakota over here. Yeah, so I hope it was helpful and I had fun. And stay tuned. There'll be more videos to come. Probably a little bit more specific than this one, but all related. So take care.